إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا أوصيكم ونفسي المذنبة بتقوى الله كما أمر الله عز وجل حيث يقول في كتابه العزيز يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم إن زلزلة الساعة شيء عظيم يوم تذهل كل مرضعة عما أرضعت وتضع كل ذات حمل حملها وترى الناس سكارى وما هم بسكارى ولكن عذاب الله شديد. وأصلي وأسلم على سيدنا ومولانا وحبيبنا وقرة أعيننا سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه وذرياته ومن اهتدى بهديه ليوم الدين. تركنا عن المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. ثم أما بعد. All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord and sustainer of the universe. We beseech and implore Him to forgive our sins and to offer His blessings and salutations upon His last and final prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and upon his companions, his kin, and all those who follow his guidance to the last day. He has left for us a clear, pristine path. Its day is as its night, and all those who waver from it will find nothing but destruction. أيها الأخوة والأخوات, my brothers and sisters, we find ourselves in these days facing difficult days, facing many crises both within our communities and within the Muslim world at large. And it would behoove us to contemplate our own positions and our own actions and how all of this is turning out. And we must begin to contemplate more thoroughly the legacy of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, about what his mission was about what he came to do, about what he wished to accomplish, and about what he expects from us as well as our Lord Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we contemplate the legacy of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we see that he came to transform people, change them, make them into something completely different. And that's what he did, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he didn't come to transform people in the dress that they wore, or in the way that they spoke, or in the languages that they spoke, but rather he transformed the hearts. This is the legacy of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the legacy of a man sallallahu alaihi wasallam who, in the same day, within hours, a man could come seeking to kill him, and then hours later he leaves as a Muslim. And that man was Umar radiallahu anhu, who came seeking to kill the Prophet ﷺ initially. Hours later he left and he said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, إنما بعثت لأتمم محاسن أو مكارم الأخلاق. I have not been sent except to perfect character, great character, that part of our souls which reflects what's in our hearts. So how then can this deen, this great deen, transform us? What is it about Islam and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that's transformative? And if it's supposed to be transformative, how come it may not be transforming us? And one of the things I think, if we contemplate, and I'm going to mention 5 things today in today's khutbah, inshallah, that are marks, awtad, or pegs of the prophetic legacy. And we see that early in his career, the Prophet ﷺ, he instilled in the people a sense of tawheed. And part of that tawheed, that realizing the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is also negating the multiplicity. So when you realize Allah is one, you're at the same time negating at-takathur, or multiplicity. And you realize that takathur, seeing many things, is a distraction. And tawheed is the proper route. Alhaakum at-takathur. The many things, the multiplicities, have distracted you. The first two words in our shahada, kalimat al-tawheed, the first word is la. It's a negation. La ilaha. Then comes the affirmation, illallah. So we are people who negate all but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That means that within our practice of this deen, there is a regime of restraint. Who you are as a Muslim is not merely defined by what you do, but also by what you don't do, what you refrain from. And this is embodied in that kalimat al-tawheed, in the first two words, la ilaha illallah. Then the next part of the shahada, wa Muhammadan Rasulullah, comes after. But the initial part is restraint. The Prophet ﷺ, he instilled within the people early on, before he established anything else, that sense of tawheed and that sense of restraint. And we have to learn that it's not enough just to do what the Prophet ﷺ commanded, but it's very important, it's vital, it's essential that we also refrain from all that he asks us to stay away from. And the Prophet ﷺ was unequivocal in when he talked about restraint. He said, مَا نَهِيتُكُمْ عَنْهُ فَاجْتَنِبُوا وَمَا أَمَرْتُكُمْ بِهِ فَأْتُوا بِهِ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. That which I have prohibited, avoid it. He didn't qualify this statement. He just said avoid it. And that which I have commanded you to do, do as much as you can. مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ بِقَدْرِ الْمُسْتَطَعْ. As much as you are able to do. So in other words, what we leave out, what we restrain from, is more essential than actually what we do. And the scholars, they have said, dar al-mafsada muqaddam ala jalb al-maslaha. That avoiding harm takes precedence over bringing about benefit. So it's better if we are faced with a choice to avoiding the harm than bringing about a potential benefit. That means that we cannot use a way, a channel, a wasila, that is embodied in harm in order to bring about a benefit. So we cannot reach the ma'ruf, we cannot receive or reach the good except via a way that is good. And the way that is good means it must be devoid of harm. We don't have a Machiavellian theology. The ends do not justify the means. Just as the ends are sharif, are noble, so should the means. In fact, for us, the means are the ends. If we seek noble means, then the nata'ij, the results, are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will give us the results. But we seek those noble means. So one of the primary aspects of the prophetic legacy is this idea of restraint. Avoiding all that is haram and avoiding all that the Prophet ﷺ prohibited us from avoiding. If we look to the Sahaba, the way they followed the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, they didn't differentiate between haram and makruh, or between wajib and mustahab, or between what we call sunnah. These are categories that came later on, based upon a reading of the legacy. But initially, the Sahaba didn't ask, well, is that actually haram or just makruh, or can we still do it? They treated the makruh like the haram. Anything that the Prophet ﷺ told them to avoid, they would avoid. And beyond this, an even higher level of restraint is to avoid dubious matters. Prophet ﷺ, in a very famous hadith, he said, دَعَ مَا يُرِيبَكْ إِلَى مَا لَا يُرِيبَكْ. دَعَ مَا يُرِيبَكْ إِلَى مَا لَا يُرِيبَكْ. Leave that which is doubtful for that which is not. And in another hadith, الْحَرَامُ بَيِّن وَالْحَلَالُ بَيِّن وَبَيْنَهُمَا أُمُورٌ مُتَشَابِهَاتٌ. The halal is clear, the haram is clear. In between are things that are dubious. So whoever wants to protect their deen, they stay away from the dubious matters, from those things that bring about doubt. Very important aspect of restraint. The second point is the way we approach our ibadah. How do we fulfill the sunnah? How do we do our ibadah? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the hadith al-Qudsi, He said that من عاد وليا فقد آذنته بالحرب. Whoever crosses a friend, someone in my protection, a wali of mine, then I have declared war upon him. Then in the hadith, as if it goes on to describe who is this wali, what are the characteristics of this person, that if you cross them, Allah will declare war upon you. He said, there is nothing more beloved for me, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, إِلَّا مَا افْتَرَضْتُهُ عَلَيْهِ, except that which I have made obligatory upon him. So fulfilling the obligations is a key to that wilayah. Fulfilling the obligations is a key for Allah to be your protector, such as that if anyone were to transgress against you, Allah declares war upon them. And then in the Hadith al-Qudsi, which is a hadith narrated by the Prophet ﷺ, but the words are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said that وما يزال الحبد يتقرب إلي بما بالنوافل حتى أحبه. And then my servant, my slave, continues to come closer to me with the nawafil, with supererogatory acts, extra things, not the fard, until I love him. So first, doing the obligatory acts. Secondly, doing the nawafil until I loved him. فَإِذَا أَحْبَبْتُهُ, then what? فَإِذَا أَحْبَبْتُهُ كُنْتُ سَمْعُ الَّذِي يَسْمَعُ بِهَا وَعَيْنُ الَّذِي يَبْصُرُ بِهَا وَيَدُ الَّذِي يَبْطَشُ بِهَا وَرِجُلُ الَّتِي يَمْشُ بِهَا. Then I become the ear by which they hear, the sight by which they see, the feet by which they walk, and the hand by which they move. وَإِذَا سَأَلَنِي لَأَعْطِيَنَّهُ, and then if he asks me, I will give him. Very clear in the hadith of how we are to go about practicing the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So we understand the fara'id, we understand the obligations. I don't have too much doubt that most people know what that is in terms of the 5 prayers and zakah and hajj. We hear this all the time. But what is our approach to the nawafil? What is our approach to those things that are not obligatory but nevertheless are recommended to do? How should we go about doing it? The Prophet ﷺ, he taught us to go about doing it in moderation. Because the idea is to establish this in your life. Not to do it once a year or once a month and then forget about it. And so our ulama, they said, it is better for you to do something consistently, even if it's a little, than to do many things occasionally. Doing them consistently. And this is also based upon the hadith, أَحَبُّ الْأَعْمَالِ إِلَى اللَّهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ أَدْوَمُهَا وَإِنْ قَلَّ. The most beloved of acts to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are those that are consistent, even if it's something little. So it's better to consistently just pray 2 rak'ahs every day extra for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. Because when you want to establish a sunnah, don't say, I'm going to do it this week, or this month, or this year. Make the intention, you're going to do this the rest of your life. You want to pray the sunnah of witr after Isha every day, make the intention, not just in Ramadan, every day, every night, for the rest of your life. Do only that which you can sustain. Don't say, I'm going to pray all the nawafil, I'm going to pray all the rawatib, all of the rak'ahs associated with the 5 prayers, beginning right now, the rest of my life. You won't be able to do it. Most likely. Do a little bit. Take a moderate approach. Don't say, I'm going to fast every Monday and Thursday forever. Fast 1 day a month. Fast 2 days a month. But do it consistently. Do it for a time. And then build upon it. Build yourself. We accept this premise, this methodology in life. Right? In everything we do. Based upon the khabar, for example, إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ بِالتَّعَلُّمِ. إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ بِالتَّعَلُّمِ. So even the way we learn, it's not you turn on a faucet and then everything comes to you, but in gradual. You want to learn a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, there's a certain time period and a certain amount of time you have to put in, and it's a gradual process. The same thing with our deen. It's a gradual process, but you have to be serious. You have to take a serious approach and say, I commit myself, beginning today, I'm going to do this consistently. And I'm going to establish it in my life for the rest of my life. Not just today, not just this night, not just this month. So the moderation in the way we do our ibadah, very important. The third point is we should be very careful about where our means come from, where our rizq, where our sustenance comes from. People often talk about, I make a lot of dua, akhi, or I do a lot of prayers, and I just feel like it's not penetrating my heart, or I'm making dua, Allah is not answering my dua. What is it? Prophet ﷺ, he remarked about one man who said, his mat'am is from haram, his malbas is from haram, his maskan is from haram, where he lives is from haram, all from haram means. Then he raises his hands in dua, and then he said, فَأَنَّ يُسْتَجَابَ لَهُ. How is it his dua is going to be answered? The key for your dua to be answered is that you have halal, tayyib means to your sustenance. Don't look for dubious things. Don't fall into dubious traps. Easy money doesn't have barakah in it, believe me. Easy money doesn't have barakah. The relationship between wealth and between the service that people provide should be one when there is an exchange of value. Easy money, you win the lottery, or you come into something quite easily where you didn't add anything to society. You didn't give any value back. You won't find barakah in that. Look at all the people who have easy money and all of the problems that they have. All the people who are involved in the entertainment industry and involved in all these type of, some of the dubious financial practices in the financial industry. Easy money to some. But there won't be barakah. Allah only puts blessing in that thing which is tayyib. Allah will never put blessing in something that's khabith. Allah will not put blessing in something that's despicable, that's corrupt, that came from corrupt means. So beware of easy routes. Add value to society. Work is the definition of work, is you're adding values to society, and then you will be remunerated in some manner. So a little bit here is always better than a lot, as long as it has a value in it, it has a barakah in it, and a blessing in it. Avoid the dubious manners in all affairs, especially in your rizq. Especially in your rizq. If you don't need to take out that loan to buy a particular car, and you can buy it cash for a lesser car, it's better to buy cash. Why enter into something that is dubious? For what? And then you'll find the barakah in your life. Prophet ﷺ was utterly unconcerned with what he ate, what he wore, and where he lived. Not a concern for him. Some people ask, well, did he choose to live in that way? Was it, did he choose to not have anything? I think he didn't care. It wasn't a choice per se. It wasn't a concern for him. He had much bigger concerns. Prophet ﷺ had this mission that Allah had entrusted him with. He had much bigger concerns about what he ate, what he didn't eat, or what type of clothes he was wearing, or what type of house he was living in. When he died, ﷺ, he was in debt. And he had a shield of his that was held as collateral with one of the Jews of Medina. And this debt wasn't for anything extravagant, it was for food in his house, to feed his family. That's where the debt was. And Aisha radiallahu anha remarked, she said, after the Prophet ﷺ died, the one thing I really regretted is that there was some stale bread in the house that was from the time ﷺ he was still alive. And I had to eat it because I had nothing else. She had to eat it because she had nothing else. This, the wife of the Prophet ﷺ. This, the wife of the man who is khayru khalqullah, the best of creation. But yet after his death, his wife had nothing more than a stale piece of bread in the cupboard to eat. He was utterly unconcerned with these material things. So if we want to avail ourselves of that legacy, of that prophetic legacy, of that barakah, of that blessing, they say zuhud. Zuhud, renunciation. It's not about avoiding having things. It's about not caring about it to begin with, whether you have it or you don't have it. So whether you have it or you do have it, to be unconcerned with it. It's okay to have it in your possession, but not in your heart. And there were many of the Sahaba who were quite wealthy. Sayyidina Uthman ibn Affan, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, Abdurrahman ibn Auf, many of them. But it wasn't in their heart. What was in their heart was mahabba, was love of the Sunnah, love of the Prophet ﷺ, love of this way. And they only saw their wealth as a means by which way they can grow in love and they can grow in service to the deen. So seek out those halal means. And we will continue in the second khutbah, inshallah. قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر لكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه فإن الذئب من الدم كمن لا ذنب له. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ثم أما بعد. So the first three were concerned more of a personal basis. The fourth one, for many of us, is the most difficult, but it could be the most important. And that's our relationship with others. And the basis of our relationship with others should be rahmah, and should be forgiveness. I want everyone in this room, this Jum'ah today, including myself, to commit to forgive everyone. Anyone you think has ever wronged you in your life, or has slighted you, or has not given you your right, or not given you your due, or anything of this sort, forgive them. Muslim or non-Muslim, relative, non-relative, old friend or not a friend anymore, forgive them. Because when you forgive someone, you release yourself. You release yourself and you allow yourself to be the person you can be. As long as you're a prisoner of your hiqd, of your hasad, your enmity, your rancor, your jealousy, you will always be a prisoner. And your heart will never be free. True liberation, true freedom, is to be free from or encumbered with the hatred of others. Let all of that go. The Prophet ﷺ, they used to say about him, كان يعفو ويغفر كان لا ينتصر لنفسه وإنما كان يعفو ويغفر. He never used to seek his own right. His own right, his personal right. Talking about a right of Islam, that's something else. But something that was directly related to him, on his own account, كان يعفو ويغفر. He used to pardon people and forgive them and let them go. One time the Prophet ﷺ remarked to Abu Hurairah, he said, if you have to do anything, the most important thing is husn al-khuluq, to have a good character. He said, Ya Rasulullah, wa ma husn al-khuluq? He said, what is this husn al-khuluq you're talking about, this good character? He said, to tasil man qata'ak, to maintain the relationship, the connection with someone who has cut you off, وَأَن تَعْفُ عَمَّنْ ظَلَمَكَ, and to pardon those who have hurt you or those who have transgressed against you. وَأَن تُعْتِ مَنْ حَرَمَكَ, and to give to those who have deprived you. To give to those who have deprived you. They don't want to give you, you give them. That's true giving, right? If you truly want to give al-ata, true giving is not expecting anything in return. True love, true mahabba is to give, expect nothing back. If you expect something back, you're not a true lover. Then you're just a trader. You're making a transaction. You put something in, you expect something back. But if you truly love, you give and you don't worry about what's coming back. That's the true love. That was the love of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ for his ummah, even for those who harmed him. One of the most difficult experiences the Prophet ﷺ experienced during his lifetime, when he went to Ta'if, a northern mountainy city north of Mecca, for da'wah. And they ran him out, throwing rocks at him and his legs bleeding when he left. The people of Ta'if. The angel Jibreel came to him. He said, I can thrust these two mountains upon them if you want. If you want. He said, no. I am hopeful that from amongst their progeny, from those that will come after them, their descendants, there will be those who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it was as he said. It was as he said. Not even less than a generation after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ta'if was completely Muslim. And from amongst those people who ran him out, there were people who became Muslim. Today, if we read Surah Al-Kahf, one of the first ayahs read, لَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ عَلَى آثَارِهِمْ إِنْ لَمْ يُؤْمِنُوا بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ أَسَفًا. What does باخع نفسك mean? You're almost killing yourself over the fact that they are not believing in what you're telling them to do. Prophet ﷺ, it hurt him that he didn't see his people, his qawm, Quraysh, and the people of the Arabian Peninsula not believing in the message that he brought forth. It was very important to him. He didn't see himself as a judge. He didn't say, Allahumma balaght fashhad, in a manner that now I am free, I am innocent. He kept trying over and over and over again with the same people. With Abu Lahab. Abu Lahab said the Quran, Tabbat yada Abi Lahabin wa tab. He's in hellfire. Nevertheless, he kept trying. Abu Jahl kept trying with him. He didn't give up on anybody. Even those who do the most despicable things. Hind bint Utbah, the one who was the wife of Abu Sufyan, she ordered the assassination of his beloved uncle Hamza in Uhud, to the extent she ate from his liver on the battlefield. Cut him open, ate from his liver. But today, what do we say about Hind bint Utbah? Radiyallahu anha. Radiyallahu anha. May Allah be pleased with her. That's transformation. Can you imagine that today? Someone who cut a relative of yours open and ate from their internal organs? Could you ever forgive them? Could you imagine that? Even if they became Muslim? How great is that prophetic legacy? That not only has the ability to transform, it has the ability to forgive in that manner. This is not a religion of revenge. It's not a religion of intiqam. It's not a religion of ahqad. It's not a religion of killing, bloodletting, of warfare. Don't believe any of that. You took to the true prophetic legacy of Muhammad ﷺ, it was about sacrifice. And even if it came to armed struggle, warfare, it was just an extension of that internal sacrifice. It wasn't about revenge. It wasn't about coming back. When the Prophet ﷺ entered into Mecca, and the Quraysh, who were afraid, clamored in the Kaaba, and they said, "What will you do with us?" One of the Ansar who went into Mecca that day was carrying the banner, the raya, and he said, "Al-yawmu yawmu malhama." Today is a day of battle and warfare, malhama, coming together in battle. Prophet ﷺ looked at him, he said, "La, al-yawmu yawmu marhama." Today is not a day of revenge and battle, today is a day of mercy, marhama. He entered into Mecca with his head lowered, humble before his Lord, not as a conqueror, not as a victor, but as an obedient slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so we entered to the precincts of the Kaaba, and they said to him, "What will you do with us?" He said, "La tathriba alaykum al-yawm, antum al-tulaqa." Just like Al-Karim ibn al-Karim ibn al-Karim ibn al-Karim, Sayyidina Yusuf ibn Yaqub said to his brothers, "You are free, no blame upon you today. No blame upon you today." So let go of all the grudges. Free yourself. Go to sleep tonight, and you have what's called salamat al-sadr. You have no grudge against anyone. You will feel free. You will feel liberated. You will wake up a different person and go every night to sleep that way. I guarantee you, wallahi, I guarantee you, you'll find a complete change in your life. You'll find that your ibadah will be more transformative. Your salah will feel different. Your zakah, your fasting will feel different. Fix this. Then the last point of this great prophetic legacy, we should all have a time regularly where we contemplate, where we think, where we're alone by ourselves, to think about why we're here, what we're doing, to reflect on the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We want to grow in Iman. To grow in Iman, you need to reflect. It's not enough just to read books or to hear the Imam and the Khatib. You have to actually do some work yourself. Because in matters of Iman, it's on you. You have to have your own convictions. It's not enough you copy someone else. You can do that in the furu'. You can do that in prayer and zakah and the acts, the obedient acts. But in terms of Iman, what's in your heart, you need your own convictions. The Quran says about these people, about us, الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض. So they remember Allah first, and with their remembrance, in all aspects, in all ways, whether they're standing up, whether they're sitting down or laying down, they remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ويتفكرون, then they contemplate في خلق السماوات والأرض, in the creation of the heavens and the earth. ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك وقنا عذاب النار. You did not create this out of apathy. It's true. It's haqq. Save us from the hellfire. وكذلك نري إبراهيم السماوات والأرض وليكون من الموقنين. And so we show the signs to Ibrahim, the malakut of the samawati and the ard, of the heavens and the earth, so that he could be amongst the ones who have certainty. You want to have certainty in life? Reflect. Unplug. Don't be distracted by all of the distractions. You need to have quietude, silence, solace, sanctuary, call it what you will, every day, some time of the day. Make it consistent. Change your life. Get away from the TV, get away from the iPhone, get away from the iPad, get away from the internet for at least some time of the day. Let all of that go, where it's just you and yourself. Designate a corner of your house, a room if you can, or even a corner somewhere. Say, this is my khalwa. This is my i'tikaf. This is where I get to go, and this is where I contemplate, I think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I think about all of the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given my way. Because contemplating on the blessings, that all the blessings you have, there's no surer way to have greater certainty in your life. And certainty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, reflect on all of the many blessings. And the greatest blessing you have is ni'mat al-Islam. وَكَفَ بِهَا نِعْمَةً. Greatest blessing we all have is that we're Muslim. There is no blessing above that. Allah chose you. Chose you to live in this time, in this place, in this way, and this Islam. He didn't have to. Allah does not have to do anything. But He chose for you this. This is an immense blessing that we can never give it its right. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He make us of those people who hear the good speech and that we follow it. And that He makes us of those who reflect upon His signs. And that He makes of those who follow the sunnah of His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and He makes of those who forgive others and who love to have good character. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم أجرنا من النار من خزي النار ومن كل عمل يقربنا إلى النار وادخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار. يا عزيز يا غفار رب فارحم وتجاوز عما تعلم إنك أنت الأعز الأكرم. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. واغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك قريب مجيب الدعوات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم فرج على المسلمين في كل مكان، في الشام وفي مصر وفي تونس وفي ليبيا وفي بورما وفي أفغانستان وفي باكستان وفي سائر بلدان المسلمين. واجعل آخر كلامنا في الدنيا لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله، متحققين بحقائق حسا ونعمة وظاهرا وباطنا. إن الله أمركم بأمر عميم بدأ بنفسه والثنى بالعلم القدسي حيث يقول إن الله ملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما كثيرا. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا كما صلى إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. عدد خلقه ونفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وأقم الصلاة.